And so on your patient, all you're gonna see is just a bump. Maybe if they're skinny, you'll see a catheter. So to assess the patient, I would put on my gloves. You're going to use a triangulation of your fingers to spread the skin tautly, and then you're gonna feel for that self-sealing septum right there in the middle of that catheter. I'm gonna feel the rim around, and again, just triangulate your fingers and feel for that self-sealing septum. In my mind's eye, I want to do an insertion right down into the middle of that self-sealing septum. If you have to push it forward, backwards, side to side, however you need to stabilize that portacath, then you do that. And then find that middle self-sealing septum, and that's what that's the bullseye. We're gonna try to get the middle of that. Our dressing change kit looks like this. It's the portacath access tray kit. And along with that supply, we have our non-coring Huber needle. Our policy says to use a 3/4 inch needle first. And if you can feel it at the top of the flesh there, if you can see it and feel it, normally this is the right size. Often the patients will tell you if they need a 1 inch or a 1.5 inch. Open up our sterile portacath tray here. When you open up a dressing kit, you're gonna open it up away from you and then side to side. Inside, you're gonna have a mask for your patient and a pair of sterile gloves. That is all sterile. I'm gonna put my sterile gloves on. On top of your package here, you're gonna see there's some instructions and there is a fenestrated drape. And then after the 30 seconds is completed, you're gonna go out in a circle, peel that off and make sure that's on top. So that's on top. And then the number 2 is on the bottom, and it folds underneath the CHG impregnated tegaderm. There's 2 little tabs down at the end here, and those are going to be the tabs we hold and pull this number 2 out. So this is going to be our base to hold on. So you don't want any plastic coming out underneath there. You want it to be very crispy and folded right on that perforated plastic line. So what we do is we take our non-coring Huber needle. Let me undo these. And we lift up the rabbit ears, self-sealing septum. In real life, this would be dry. And on the count of 3, I'm going to have the patient hold their breath. And the reason I have them hold their breath is because that way I will ensure blood return. So on the count of 3, I say 1, 2, 3, and then I poke down into that self-sealing septum. I take my syringe, I inject 1 to 2, and then I aspirate, and we're going to pretend that we have blood return. Now, we're going to put down the rabbit ears. We're going to hold down the little tabs that I showed you earlier, and we're going to pull out this extra plastic. And we're going to put our little tabs closer together here, like so. Now we have a great start to our dressing. I'm just gonna clamp these before I disengage my syringe. And then we are on to this part of the dressing. So there is a side of the dressing with two ends, and then there's a side with just one end. I'm gonna put this one end down here where the line comes out of the patient, and I'm just gonna tack the two end down there. And all you have to do is just tap, 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 and then squish that together. And it has made its own secure, taut, tight dressing. Then you just pull off these tabs. And if you notice here, I have this coming up the patient's neck, so it's not going to be out in the armpit. If you want to have this so it comes out in the armpit or going straight down, then you need to put the needle in that way. However you put the needle in, it has to stay. It's not going to be able to be manipulated, because that will ruin the self-sealing septum. And then we take this part of our dressing, put it underneath the catheter. My colleague likes to call it the pants. And then she calls this the belt, and this goes right on top. And so now we have a completely sterilely enclosed dressing. And on this dressing, you can write the date that you did this, because it's going to be changed once every 7 days.